It had pop-up headlights, VTEC dreams, and four-wheel steering before it was cool. No, we're not talking about a Skyline, or a Supra, or even the iconic Integra. We're talking about the most overlooked Honda ever built. A car that deserved way more spotlight than it got. This is the Prelude. Let's rewind to the late 70s. Gas prices were climbing, disco was still alive, and Honda? Honda was busy cooking up something weird, something special. They grabbed their Civic and Accord platforms and Frankensteined a new coupe together. The result? The 1978 Honda Prelude. It was sleekish, coupe-ish, and weirdly elegant. But let's be real, its performance didn't exactly scream sports car. With a humble 1.8L inline-4 making just 76 horsepower, the only thing it was overtaking was expectations. Americans weren't ready for Japanese sports cars yet. They just wanted fuel economy. But take that Prelude into a canyon? Whole different story. Light body, tight steering. This thing danced. It whispered to the driver. And that became Honda's secret weapon. Handling over horsepower. Fast forward to the early 80s. Honda drops the second-gen Prelude and... whoa. Full design refresh. They ditched the bland and brought in pop-up headlights, a narrow, low hood, bigger glass, a more aggressive stance. They even threw in double wishbone suspension up front, a move that was straight-up race car tech at the time. Engine displacement? Upgraded to a 2.0L making 110 horsepower. Not huge by today's standards, but back then, this was Honda flexing hard. Oh, and this was the debut of the Psi badge. That's right, the Prelude 2.0 C was the first ever Honda C. Think of it as the great-granddaddy of the Civic C and Integra Type R. Honda wasn't done. In 1988, they released what might be the biggest leap in Prelude history, the third generation. Here's where it got real. Sleeker body, NSX-inspired styling, four-wheel steering, no joke, it actually worked. More power, 2.1L with 135 horsepower. Double wishbone suspension on all four corners. That 4WS system? Wild. At low speeds, the rear wheels turned opposite the front for tight U-turns. At high speeds, they turned in the same direction to glide through corners. It was like the Prelude could read your mind. Teenagers in Japan were slapping body kits on these, racing in the mountains, living the dream. But in America, people still slept on it. Enter Gen 4. Honda wasn't just flexing anymore. They brought out the VTEC. This model came with a 2.2L DOHC VTEC engine pushing out 190 horsepower. That's a 55 HP jump over the last gen. Massive. And the design? Pure 90s curves. Wide body. Fixed headlights. Sorry, pop-up fans. It looked fast. It was fast. For a front-wheel drive car in the 90s, it was scary capable. Let me say this. If this had rear-wheel drive, it would have dethroned half the tuner legends we glorify today. Now here's where it gets complicated. Honda dropped the fifth and final Prelude. Power got a slight bump, 200 horsepower. But the design? A bit boxier. Some fans loved it. Others said it looked like a Civic in a business suit. The engine? Still strong. The handling? Still elite. But the sales? Not so much. The price kept creeping up. And when you could snag a Civic or Integra for less and mod it like crazy, the Prelude started to feel like the forgotten middle child. And by 2001, Honda pulled the plug. Here's the truth. The Prelude wasn't built to be the fastest. It was built to be a driver's car, a true canyon carver. It wasn't about raw power. It was about balance, feel, connection. And it brought us innovations like the first ever Honda Psi, four-wheel steering, double wishbone suspension front and rear, Early VTEC performance, that iconic long hood coupe silhouette. But most importantly, it paved the way for what we now call the Honda Performance Legacy. So why do I call this the most underrated Honda ever built? Because it was never about being loud. It was always about being precise, purposeful, pure. And in a world full of cars chasing clout, that kind of precision, yeah, that's rare. If you spot a clean Prelude on the street, give that driver a nod. They know something most people never will. Hey Honda, drop the fake Integra. Bring back the Prelude. If you vibed with this story, smash that like button. Comment below. Which Prelude gen would you build? And don't forget to subscribe. We've got more forgotten JDM gems, build tips, and underrated legends coming your way. From the streets of Tokyo to the canyons of California, we're keeping car culture alive, one video at a time. Catch you in the next one. Peace.